Darkcast Network. Come to the dark side of podcasts. We have cookies.
Cookies? Me love cookies.
Are you tired of hearing about the Ted Bundys and Jeffrey Dahmers on True Crime Podcasts? I thought so. We've got something just for you. I'm Pat.
And I'm Darcy, and we are the hosts of Pod of Terror, a true crime podcast that dives into lesser-known cases from around the world.
Grab a glass of wine and join us every Thursday as we discuss the most vile, despicable human beings on the planet.
It'll be a dark and twisted journey, so don't forget your drink. You're gonna need it.
We're looking forward to seeing you next Thursday.
Devil is on his way. Devil is on his way, motherfucker. The devil gonna make you pay. Fall to your knees. Devil is on his way. Fall to your knees. Devil gonna make you pay. Fall to your knees. Devil is on his way. Motherfucker, he's on his...
Hey y'all, welcome back to Mountain Murders.
I'm Heather.
And I'm Dylan.
Yeah, for now.
Ha
I just called you a phlegm goblin.
That's right.
How does a grown man, nearly half a century old, just flop out of a chair? You're sitting in your podcast chair here in the studio, and you just sort of like melted out of it.
Yeah, I was sitting on the edge.
What were you doing?
And it was trying to roll out from under me. I can't help it.
The only time I've ever seen someone flop out of a chair, it was like a toddler.
You just said I'm like a 200-some pound toddler.
You are like that.
Oh
That is what you remind me of all the time.
Okay.
You just stomp around. You have zero spatial awareness.
I knock stuff off.
You knock stuff off.
That's
You're
true.
very unobservant. You're pretty much a kid.
You have to keep me from harming
like a small
myself.
Child. I don't know how you've made it this long. I really don't. I mean, it is like a marvel. I'm telling you, bro, you're going to be studied one day. They're going to study this big ass head of yours.
Yeah, you were wondering why I can't just
function,
remember things. I don't keep up. I can't keep up.
You cannot prioritize.
It's hard for me to adult
anything
sometimes.
Well, you told me earlier today that you had an appointment.
Yeah.
You could not remember anything about the appointment. I asked you, did you write it down? There were no details. And you were talking about you were just going to call around to the various
right.
orthopedic offices to see if you have an appointment. What is wrong with you?
Yes.
That is the most ridiculous thing that I've heard out of your mouth today.
It's true. I had an appointment with an orthopedic doctor. All I knew from the information that I'd put in my phone was that it was today. It was at 2:30, and that's it. I don't know where. I don't know who.
This is an ongoing problem, though. This is not the first time you've been absolutely clueless about a doctor's appointment.
No, this is almost every time.
Bro, you make the appointment. How do you not know who you made the appointment with?
They called me. In my defense, this was arranged through my primary care doctor, who I do know. I know this guy. I know his name. They send me a text reminder when my appointment is, and that's the only reason I ever see him. And I know where he's at.
Dylan.
All right, so here we are back in the studio. We have Heather's missed me. We've missed our listeners, and I
have missed our listeners, Dylan. Missing you is a challenge.
Yeah.
I can't get rid of you long enough to miss you.
She keeps putting me out by the curb, and I keep crawling back to the front door.
Yeah, for some reason, the trash pickup seems to forget you every week.
There's no Dylan day.
No. When Blake takes the trash cans down to the road for us, for some reason, you never quite make it into the can.
No. I slide. I flop out.
Let me tell y'all, this man, I just cannot even begin to like describe Dylan to you guys, but I may have seen one of the most white trash redneck things in my whole life, and that's saying a lot because you don't understand how I grew up, like a fucking Jerry Springer show. Dylan is in the lake swimming with a fucking cigarette hanging out of his mouth, smoking and doing like a backstroke.
Yeah, that's right. That happened.
I'd never seen anything quite like it. I was marveling once more at your skills, your talents.
I smoked the whole thing.
I know you did, and it was mesmerizing. I told you this might be the trashiest thing I've ever seen you do.
I told you I'm naturally buoyant. You're always concerned when I'm free swimming in a big body of water. But if I get into trouble, I just stop, and I showed you, and I just boink, like a fish bobber.
People be drowning in lakes all the time.
I'm like a fish bobber. I just pop right up to the top.
At the same time we were out on the lake, a gentleman drowned a few counties over in a lake.
Well, he's not me. I don't know what to say. I feel bad for his family. But I will be there floating when the emergency services show up.
Suggest you wear a personal flotation device.
I will not. I am a superb swimmer. I like the freedom.
That cockiness is what gets people got.
And I like the freedom, and I like a dangerous element of possibly dying.
Yeah, well, you just wait till you have a Lake Placid moment and like a gigantic crocodile eat your ass in the lake because you don't have a flotation device.
That's not going to save you from a gigantic.
It could.
Not from the Lake Placid monster.
It might.
All right, so here we are. Back in the studio.
Yes, Dylan. Yes, we are back. As you have mentioned multiple times, we are back. So let's get into this case. We don't have time to discuss you anymore. I know you like to be the center of attention, but enough of that. Let's move on. We have part 2 of the Megan Boswell case.
And I have been waiting for this.
It is a doozy, this whole case, Dylan, I'm telling you. So at the behest of Tommy Sr., when we last left you, Megan Boswell finally reported her daughter Evelyn missing on February 18th of 2020. The 15-month-old had reportedly last been seen in early December around the 10th. Tommy had not seen his granddaughter since Thanksgiving of 2019. Now, Dylan, if you've not seen your granddaughter, spoken to her, heard her in the background, laid your eyes on your granddaughter from Thanksgiving till February, I'm just not sure, like, that you would go that long without demanding to know where she is.
And honestly, I'm not sure most people would in a situation like this. And like you and I were discussing, we don't know everyone's relationship.
We don't, but it does seem like Megan and Tommy were close and saw each other regularly.
Well, and that's the part that's weird to me, right? Because when I first heard the story, I thought, oh, they're not really in contact. You know, maybe they're keeping in touch over, social media or something where you could kind of hide something like this. But like you said, even if you talk on the phone, talk more than once a week, all these things, you're going to hear kids or a kid. You're going to hear them in the background. They're going to ask to speak to you. You're going to want to speak to them.
Well, even a baby, you're going to hear like a toddler, like jibber jabbering,
or crying,
making noise, crying. Just doing their little jibber jabber thing. I mean, tearing down the fucking house. Like, you're always going to hear, if there are kids or like animals in the house, you're probably going to hear them.
Right.
At some point.
And I'm not sure. I know, given my relationship the way it is with my daughter, and you know as well, that we would not go that long. So I think it's kind of weird. And I know there was a lot of discussion early on in this case about this very thing. Who waits that long? Who accepts all these excuses? I found it strange, but I don't know what it means.
I don't know what it means either, Dylan, but I'm glad they finally reported this child missing. So when authorities pressed Megan about Evelyn's whereabouts, she stated that Ethan Perry, Evelyn's alleged father, and we're going to get to that in a little bit here, was holding the child. Like, she almost makes it sound like he's kidnapped the child and is holding the child hostage or something. Like he just is refusing to give the child back.
Like the child went and visited him and she hasn't been able to get her back since.
Right. And, I'm a little kind of confused about this because she doesn't really go into details. I'm like, the baby can't jump on a plane and fly to Louisiana on her own. She's a 15-month-old. She does not have the gold star on her driver's license to travel.
She doesn't have any luggage.
She doesn't know how to go online and make a reservation. So Megan doesn't really explain, like, did Ethan come pick the child up and take her? Or did Megan go to Louisiana and drop the child off? But regardless of the circumstances, I mean, she's painting it as if the father has, taken the child and just is refusing to give her back.
And now you would have to expect that Megan has to realize that they're going to likely check out this story. And it's not going to be that hard for them to do, even though the father lives, in another area.
Well, it's also, in my opinion, not a believable story. And I'm surprised Tommy bought this story because this entire time, Ethan Perry has not shown a great interest, I guess you could say, in being a father. He's only seen this baby one time. He's questioned the paternity of this child. He's not actively involved. So for Megan to come out with this story that he's just all of a sudden
her full-time caregiver
wants to be her dad and is in the picture and takes the child and is now refusing to give her back, I would question that from the beginning because it just doesn't make sense.
No, that certainly is a 180 from the way things were.
Megan explained that Perry was in Louisiana. He's in the Army. He's refusing to return the child. Now, initially, Perry was contacted by his NCO in the Army, which is his, non-commissioned officer. It would be basically the person in charge of him, his supervisor, if you will. The Criminal Investigation Division sought to schedule an appointment with Perry. The NCO is kind of relating this information. They want to speak to you. Now, at that point, Perry was unaware that Evelyn was missing or that he had been named in her disappearance. Soon after, Perry was in his barracks room preparing for the meeting with the CID, the Criminal Investigation Division, when he received a call from Tennessee's Department of Child and Family Services. When questioned about Evelyn's location, Perry answered, "I don't know." So he tells DCF, "I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't know where she is. I don't know any of this."
So he's in the Army, which means it's going to be even more quickly. He'll be more quickly contacted. They know exactly where he is. There's a chain of communication, or however you want to say it, to very quickly through official means get a hold of him and have him questioned. This is even more true than if he was just a regular citizen, where they'd have to the cops in that area.
Oh no, you're right.
I mean, this happened.
They don't have to track him down.
No,
I mean, it's not like they have to go to great lengths, right? And the Army's going to crawl up his ass. They want answers. I mean, anytime a service member is possibly involved in some kind of criminal activity like this, which kidnapping or whatever, they're going to be right on top of it. But also, just from the outside, this story doesn't make sense because if he is an active duty soldier, then who's taking care of the child? He's a single father in the Army. The military typically does not let you be a single parent. You have to have a family care plan in place when you deploy. If you have to go on some kind of training mission, who's going to care for your child? So you have to name someone. You almost have to give them power of attorney over your child.
So they make sure that because
While
may not
you're gone, that
right,
someone is there to care for your child,
and that the child can have everything they need, including medical treatment or anything.
All of that.
So so I was going to say,
a lot of single parents in the military have their parents helping care for a child, someone that they trust caring for the child.
So, yeah, it's just so goofy, right?
Well, it doesn't make sense. And a lot of what Megan says is not going to make sense. But these things, just in the beginning of the case, when it was starting to make its way to the media, because this kind of blew up, and maybe it was just our area because we we're in Western North Carolina. We're very close to East Tennessee. We get a lot of the same news kind of, in these areas. This was spreading like wildfire on social media, news reports. I mean, I was very invested. And from the get-go, I didn't buy the story that this child was with her father, because I'm like, wait a minute, he's in the military. He probably doesn't have someone. He was raised by his grandparents. He doesn't have someone to care for this child. He doesn't probably know anyone in Louisiana he's going to trust to take this child and care for this child if he's got to leave or whatever. I mean, like, none of it made sense to me.
Yeah, and you see cases like this, and anytime the stories change, because there's really no reason for, in major ways, for your story to change about where your kid is or who has custody of them. And anytime you see parents get up there and start, kind of backtracking or let me tell you what really happened, it's never a good sign.
Yeah, or just sort of like hee-hawing him around, like, yeah.
Well, I heard you hear the one version, or this is what happened, and then a day or two later, they're saying something else that's completely different, and that never makes sense.
Perry was interrogated for hours by the U.S. Army CID. During the interrogation, Perry surrendered his cell phone and provided DNA samples to investigators. He denied any knowledge of the child's missing person status. Investigators searched the barracks at Fort Polk, Louisiana. Perry even offered up his car, like, you're free to go search that. Evelyn was not present, obviously. And Perry fully cooperated with law enforcement, stating he would do, I'll do everything I can to help, and was very cooperative from the beginning.
Right, and there's probably even a paper trail of where he's been this entire time.
So from Jump Street, investigators are pretty quickly able to determine Ethan Perry does not have this child and does not know, anything about this child's location.
Yeah, and again, he was in the Army. This is, for investigators, is the best case scenario as far as checking alibis, checking a person out and quickly getting access to them being fully cooperative, no warrants, no court orders. And so, yeah, they're moving very quickly on this.
He's like, I have nothing to hide. I'm an open book. Here, crawl up my ass. I don't have this child. Now, the only time Perry had ever been around Evelyn was that one time in El Paso, Texas, when Megan Boswell showed up unannounced at the hotel where he'd been staying with the Army. He was in the child's presence for 3 to 4 days, and during this visit, Perry said the trio mostly stayed in the hotel room, and at some point, they visited the zoo and went to an IHOP restaurant. But that was the gist of the trip. And that was the only time he'd ever been around this baby.
Right.
Now, during the initial investigation, authorities revealed a shocking fact. And this has entirely been glossed over, but I think it's important. Ethan Perry was not Evelyn's biological father.
Okay, so this
DNA testing confirmed this.
Now, did he already know this?
Remember, he had suspicions
right.
Because he had gone off to boot camp, and then suddenly Megan's pregnant, and the math's not mathing for him.
So from the beginning, he had questions.
Yes, we talked about this in part 1.
Yes.
I know you have a goldfish brain.
No, I remember. I'm just, sometimes I like to reiterate known facts of the podcast. Does that make sense?
Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We'll take that.
This is a reiteration of earlier said events.
It's a recap.
Yeah.
It's a recap.
It's my own personal recap of this episode.
Awesome. So that brings us to February 19th of 2020. I'm kind of getting into the timeline here. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation did not wait long to issue an Amber Alert for the 15-month-old. The investigation itself, reports said at the time, was prompted by Tommy Boswell Sr., Evelyn's grandfather, when he called the Department of Children's Services to say, he had not seen the child since Thanksgiving.
And can we say that the Amber Alert is one of the best, I don't even know what to call it, advancements or new technologies put into place.
Yes, missing children.
And it's one of the bright sides of social media is the speed that information and pictures and the story can get out very quickly to the public. And it's helped a lot of kids.
It really has, and it's helped in general. I mean, especially within the true crime community, not only podcasters, but listeners are so willing to share missing persons photos and information, circulate not only children, but missing adults on their social media accounts. I know just from my own personal experience, I often share my cousin Carrie's information because she's still missing, going on 5 years. This year, it's 5 years that she's been gone, no answers. And, people are really great, not only podcasters, but also listeners with sharing her information.
Right.
And, and it really does make a difference. Like the more people who see these missing persons cases, the more, likely maybe they can be solved. And that was the thing with Evelyn. I mean, I remember where I was, the exact place when I got the Amber Alert for Evelyn.
So this is really
I immediately went to look up what was going on.
So you have a flashbulb memory. This
do.
Very vivid, very detailed memory. So this was kind of a big moment for you. This really left a mark on you.
Well, I'm not going to say it was a big moment
Well,
for me,
no, I'm
but
just
it just really grabbed my attention because I'm like, okay, this child, 15-month-old, and in Tennessee, so this is not super far from us. I was just kind of curious, and not only that, but we do the podcast, so I immediately went and searched for Evelyn Boswell, and several news stories popped up. And when I saw her beautiful little face, I was just taken in by this child,
right?
Because she looks like a little cherub. She is just a beautiful little girl.
Oh, she is such a cute little angel.
She's got these big blue eyes, and she just looks so sweet. I just want to grab her up and kiss her little face and smooch her. She's so cute.
Right. And I know I didn't mean to describe it as a big moment, but it really kind of made an impact on you for you to have this kind of bright memory of first hearing about it.
Well, yeah, and I don't know if maybe it was just COVID, and we were all being told we have to stay home, and things are starting to happen with COVID and quarantine. But yeah, I just saw this baby's face, and then I was really sucked in to this case, and joined all these Facebook groups. I was still on Facebook at that time, discussing. There were Facebook groups dedicated to this case, local people in the area who'd been driving by the Boswell's property, posting pictures. I mean, there was a lot of activity, a lot of speculation, people who knew Megan, people who knew the family. So it was really interesting. And I just needed to know what happened to this baby.
Right.
I think a lot of people did.
We all did because
I know other people, who are listeners and are into true crime who've said, yeah, there's something about this case that really grabbed me from day one. Because I think one of the main reasons why people were very interested in this case, Dylan, was not only you had this beautiful little girl who was missing, but it was a lot like the Casey Anthony case. And we're going to get into that.
It was in more than one way.
I think a lot of people from the beginning felt this was like Casey Anthony 2.0. All right, so it was on February 21st that the waters became more muddied, with Sullivan County Sheriff Jeff Cassidy telling the media that his office had received conflicting reports about Evelyn's disappearance. Megan's statements created more confusion for investigators. She shifted stories, pointed fingers, and left law enforcement chasing false leads.
Which must be very frustrating for investigators in a case like this.
Well, it is.
Because they have, until they have any other information or confirmation otherwise, they're looking for this child. And they have hopes of finding this child, alive and unharmed.
Right, and I'm going to speculate that Sullivan County probably has limited resources. I'm sure the sheriff's office is not, they don't have a $200 million budget at the sheriff's office. It's probably a limited budget, limited resources, and they are dedicating a lot of legwork, time, energy, chasing down these leads that turn out to just be lies.
Which I'm sure it can drive you crazy if you're investigating a case like this.
Specifically, the sheriff said one report indicated that Evelyn had last been seen on December 26th of 2019, but a babysitter later claimed to have seen the girl on December 10th or 11th. So it was actually confirmed that like the 10th or 11th was the last time anyone really truly saw this baby. At this time, Cassidy also confirmed that Megan Boswell and Ethan Perry, Evelyn's father, were involved in the investigation. Now he's making these statements at a press conference. At this time, law enforcement asked for help locating the occupants of a 2007 gray BMW with front end damage.
Okay, very specific description.
Melissa Wood, the mother of Megan's boyfriend Hunter Wood, reported the BMW stolen. In the report, Wood said she had planned to sell the car to Megan Boswell. They had no purchase agreement and no money had been exchanged. It was later revealed that Angel Boswell, Megan's mother, had taken the car. When Melissa Wood was unable to reach Megan or Angel by phone, she decided to report the car stolen.
Okay. Hey, you got my BMW.
Very weird. If you are planning to buy a vehicle, typically you don't just drive off without paying some money, getting a bill of sale, a title, a notary. I mean, there's like a lot of things that kind of go into buying a used car.
Around here, that's what we call a free car.
Oh my goodness. So officials issued a be on the lookout for this Beamer.
So, and I remember this element of the story, like you said, did truly muddy the waters, but people were like, hey, wait a minute. Maybe she's got
the baby. Right.
She's on the run, if you will.
Right.
I mean, that's really how this kind of blew into the public
it almost
conscience.
Seemed like Megan was subtly implying this.
Right.
Right. Now, law enforcement suspected the occupants, who turned out to be Angel Boswell and her boyfriend, whose name was William McLeod, had information. What?
Oh my God, he's a Highlander.
William McLeod?
Yeah.
That's the Highlander's name?
He can only be one. Okay.
I don't know. I've never seen Highlander.
Dude. Okay, they're making a new.
Was it Arnold? Who's in Highlander?
Oh gosh, if you hadn't asked me, we'll talk about it.
Is it
later.
like a Carradine or something?
No, he's like a.
Yeah, I don't know anything.
He's a European.
Dolph Lundgren?
No, you wish.
I do wish.
All right.
Dolph was hot back in the day. All right, so it's Angel and her boyfriend in this car. Now, a day later, the vehicle was spotted in Wilkes County, North Carolina. The car was stopped in Trap Hill, North Carolina. I have no idea where that is. I'm a lifelong North Carolinian. Cannot tell you where the hell Trap Hill is.
Well, no, once you get much past Charlotte area, I mean, it starts getting fuzzy for me to the east.
Well, if it's in Wilkes, so I'm imagining it's somewhere in the western, like maybe the northwestern part of the state.
Yeah, and that's truly
maybe up near the Virginia line or something.
Yeah, and that's the part of the state I'm very unfamiliar with.
I know a little bit about it, but, not a ton. Now, the car was stopped, like I said, in this place called Trap Hill. 33-year-old William McLeod was driving the BMW, and Angel Boswell was discovered in the passenger seat. Both were arrested and charged with theft of property over $2,500. Angel was also arrested on a warrant for violation of her probation in Tennessee. So both were eventually extradited back to Sullivan County, Tennessee.
And so they have charges on them. They have a reason to hold them.
Right.
And they're very happy to get to talk to them, right?
Right. Sheriff Cassidy told reporters, quote, "During our interviews, her stories didn't lead to anything. We went out and checked on, including video surveillance and eyewitness testimony, and a lot of her information wasn't accurate." Now, this is talking about Megan. He went on to say, quote, "This case is unlike anything I've ever been involved in." Now, it doesn't take long for the sheriff to realize Angel Boswell and William McLeod, although they maybe have committed some other crimes, have no involvement in the disappearance of this baby.
Right. So they're no angels. Yeah.
Okay, Greg Allman.
Right?
Yeah.
They're not maybe they have some issues, but it doesn't concern the child.
I'm no angel.
'Cause I'm no angel.
No stranger to the dark.
I did still
Let me
this
rock
be-
you, baby.
I can't afford the maintenance on this car. It's a BMW. All right.
An oil change is $175.
Has a little front end damage. Now, I saw their picture.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people were kind of mean to them.
To Angel and William?
Yes.
Look.
Because they look like a...
They look rough as a damn cob.
They look rough as a couple of cobs.
As my papa would say, they look rough as a damn cob. And they look rough.
Right.
I think they might live a different life.
They're free spirits.
They live a very different life from you and me. Now, Sheriff Cassidy offered a $1,000 reward. More reward money started coming in, totaling $33,000 for the safe return of Evelyn, and that soon climbed to $56,000.
You know, I'd like to do a series on when rewards worked. Right.
Well, yeah, you've talked about this before.
So how many times in your life?
You've told us about this before.
Well, no, I just mean how many times in your life have you heard, no matter the case, big story, whatever, reward for information leading to the arrest or finding this person or any of that. And I wonder how often it actually works. They get the information they need. The person who came forward gets the reward. Maybe I'll look into that.
I'm sure a quick search of the internet could provide you with some answers.
Okay.
Maybe you could ask ChatGPT.
I will never ask ChatGPT a damn.
You need to know. I mean, they're creating all these shitty data centers everywhere, so might as well utilize the data center, Dylan. Not only is it surveilling you, it's just a massive surveillance state we're in now, but it'll also give you some half-assed answers.
Look.
That most of the time are not correct.
Can I tell our listeners right quick, Heather tries to use one of the GPTs, chat whatevers.
It was like Microsoft.
It was AI. For reasons I won't go into, she was looking for maybe new theme music for us.
That's what you were saying. You said you weren't going to go into it.
Right. Original theme music, let's just say.
Well, yeah, because we have permission to use the music, our intro music now.
Joe Buck yourself.
I personally asked him, and he said, sure, do whatever. And his record company was like, yeah, I mean, if he said that, that's fine. He's not the kind of guy who really cares about that stuff. But because of the music, like now we're having some issues monetizing on YouTube. I'm not going to go into all that. But anyway, I'm like, okay, well, I don't really care. It's not about the money, but maybe we should find some original music.
There's something different.
And I was told, like, you can make up AI songs, right? And I have this free Microsoft AI program because I had, applied to this university that's nearby, and they had given me an account and all this stuff, and with that was this like whole Microsoft package, even though I have not yet enrolled in the school. So I'm like, I'm going to use this AI for a minute. Anyway, we tried to describe like a theme song that we might want, like an intro song.
Prompt it.
And they were fucking ridiculous.
They were so terrible.
They were so bad.
I hope you saved them. We're going to play them for the listeners one day.
People are like, oh, AI is going to take over the world. There's no fucking way.
It's not ready.
I mean, some of the pop songs today, some of the shit that's on the radio sounds like AI wrote it, to be honest. But it's not good. That's why these songs are not good. These songs were terrible. These mountain murder songs were so cheesy and corny and just fucking terrible. Not at all what we described or that we wanted. It was just ridiculous.
No, it was such stereotypical things about country.
The red clay dirt and the black rivers.
And the mountains, and they're really big on black creeks.
Yeah, black rivers.
And red clay, even though that's not the entire Appalachian region, is not red clay.
Like, we ain't in Georgia, bro.
I mean,
there's not a lot of red clay that I know of.
Anywho. So Skynet is not ready to come online yet.
Look, the creative space, I think, will remain because AI cannot reproduce the kind of creativity and talent and soul that like true artists, and that's, graphic artists, painters, poets, writers, musicians. AI cannot capture that true creativity.
People
and
think
that talent.
I agree, and I think already people are like, I'm sick of seeing the videos. I'm sick of the content, AI content. And I think very quickly that People will like it being a real person would be a selling point.
Well, yeah, and I saw this, I guess this post the other day where these companies, these big companies, of course, they want to profit off podcasting, but they don't want to have to pay creators. So, it's like AI is going to take over podcasting. Podcasting's dead now. All these big companies are going to move to AI podcasts. So your little do it yourself DIY pod, these little indie pods, no one's going to listen to that anymore. So like it'll only be if you're a celebrity. And I mean, I'm sorry, but I don't give a shit what celebrities think. I don't want to listen to you have a cool hangout in your chair or armchair with your friend who's also rich and wealthy and out of touch. I don't give a shit what you have to say. I don't care about what you think. I don't want to hear your opinion on politics. Shut the fuck up.
It's so funny with
Okay?
the celebrities in the podcast space because it's just more celebrity gobbledygook.
Sorry, my notebook fell.
Just the same junk that they've given us in so many different forms.
Just celebrity slop, and I don't give a shit.
And I will listen to some person in their basement with terrible audio before I listen to one of those people carry on with their rich friends.
So fucking out of touch.
It's so lame.
And it's ridiculous. Yeah, I'm never. Like, I don't want to listen to your podcast, Ted Danson.
He's one of the worst. This is the commercial for Ted Danson's Fun Hang with his friends and sometimes Woody Harrelson, because that's the only way you can get people to tune in. Maybe if Woody Harrelson's on, because I would listen to Woody Harrelson. He's Woody
maybe.
Harrelson.
It depends.
It depends on what he's talking
Is he
about.
talking about like veganism? Because then maybe I'm not going to listen to Woody.
No, but I definitely don't want to listen to Ted Danson and was it Maria Shriver? Is that his wife?
Mary Steenburgen.
Yeah, that's the same. Yeah, that sounds the same.
Maria Shriver was married to Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Mary Steenburgen.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a moist burger.
What?
Yeah.
I like her.
You like her?
I like her.
I don't even know who that is.
Dude, I thought she had like cameos on Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Okay.
And I loved her interaction with Larry David on Curb Your Enthusiasm and stuff. It was really funny.
Okay. I probably know her face.
But anyway, I've always loved, I love Steve Martin. Like, that's no secret. He was my childhood crush. I've always loved Steve Martin. I think he's a sexy, like, 100-year-old man. I love him. His King Tut, amazing. So that movie Parenthood with Steve Martin, she plays the wife in that movie.
Oh.
And I think she's great.
Okay.
I like her. But Ted Danson, yeah, he's kind of a dork, and I don't really care what he has to say.
Right.
I don't care what Amy Poehler has to say. I don't care what Justin Bateman and Will Arnett or Dax Shepard have to say. I just don't care.
So I don't think AI can recreate.
Well, I don't
me.
either. AI cannot recreate these conversations that we have.
No.
Right? Celebrities cannot recreate these conversations that we have.
Mm-mm.
They'll never talk about their friend who's almost 50 falling out of a chair.
They've never been locally hated.
They've never. No. You wish.
You know what I'm saying?
You wish.
All right, so back to our story.
I have been locally hated.
I've been regionally hated. I believe.
I think I have been. My guest column in a publication in our local area.
Right.
I had a lot of death threats. People hated me.
Yeah.
They do not like when a woman expresses her opinion.
Not with old septic ring either.
No, they definitely don't like that.
What's gonna do with that ring in your nose? Like old hog in some mud.
I'm going to rub it on your wife's clit and give her an orgasm because Lord knows you've never.
Oh, I've never.
How you like that?
Anyway, all right.
Suck on my booger, bitch. What? Okay, anyway. I'm just going to start doing the whole like crotch, where you just
Munch this box.
Well, I'm not Judy Gemstone yet.
Yeah.
But I'm going to start doing that suck it thing that we used to do in the 90s to people.
Yeah, it's like people know.
Yeah.
People who were alive in
Like
the
the
90s
V,
know. It's
the
like
V at your crotch.
boom, you're bringing
Yeah.
the hands down.
Suck it. I'm bringing that back.
And you usually have to do 2 to 4 thrusts.
Yes.
You can't just be one.
Because hands down, it does not matter what the situation is. If you throw that in, you just won the argument.
You won.
Right? So I'm just going to do that and mic drop and walk away.
Right, because
From the fight or
anyone,
the argument or whatever.
if you're defending against that, you can't start exclaiming that you're not going to suck it.
Right. So
you're
the
still
next
losing.
time that your manager or supervisor calls you out, calls you into the office, wants to talk to you, HR wants to have a conversation with you, You just tell them to suck it and walk out.
That's right.
See what happens. Let the chips fall where they may.
Well, you just go ahead and get your stuff out of your locker and go on and leave.
Yeah, I don't care.
But you still won. They'll never forget
I'm
when
going to
you
tell my fake employer to suck it. Yeah. All right. So moving back to the podcast space here. February 21st was also the same day that Boswell spoke to WCYB, a Northeast Tennessee news outlet. And this was outside a courtroom in Bristol, Tennessee. She told WCYB that she knew who had taken Evelyn, but did not want to contact police and risk tipping that person off. She said, quote, "The reason I didn't report it or anything was I knew the person who had her, and I didn't want them to run away with her. I'm just kind of worried, about where they are, what they're doing with her at this point in time."
It's so ridiculous. When did you start worrying? Like for the weeks and weeks now.
She's
months?
worried they're going to take her off. Well, honey, it sounds like they've took her somewhere, right? She's not with you, so they've already taken her.
You don't know where she's at.
Call Liam Neeson. They've taken her, honey.
Yeah, and I don't think you have any skills.
Bless her heart. Anyway, Evelyn's disappearance began to ripple all the way to Nashville on February 22nd that year. The search for the girl prompted a petition called Evelyn's Law, in which the Tennessee State, Senate, these lawmakers asked to pass legislation making it illegal for parents to wait longer than 72 hours to report a child missing.
And
so just within a matter of days, this law comes about.
Which is crazy, right? For any state legislature to move that quickly.
Right. So John Crawford, a Republican representative from Kingsport, introduced the House Bill 384. John Lundberg was listed as the Senate sponsor, and this law was passed, and it would take effect in Tennessee on July 1st of 2021. So something good did come from all of this.
Right.
Now,
well, and see, that seems like a law you should not even need.
Right.
Right. Most parents should instantly report, reach out for help whenever they can. And I think that's how most parents, good parents, regular people will do. I mean, this is a law you almost don't even need.
Unless you're Casey Anthony and you're going to go host like a wet t-shirt contest.
Right.
Yeah. All right. So by now, the TBI received more than 500 tips regarding the missing child. Sadly, even with the high call volume, there were no credible sightings of the toddler. February 24th marked another appearance of Megan Boswell, to the media. She told CBS affiliate WJHL that her mother, Angela Boswell, had taken Evelyn to Mendota, Virginia. She said, quote, "I told the TBI where to find her in Mendota. My mom took her to a campground in a silver camper, and if they don't go tonight, I'm going to go find her myself because I've told them, and they're not really taking it seriously, and if they don't go tonight, I will go myself and get her." She kind of also went on to ramble about campgrounds and trailers and that her family were gypsies, which we all know is a bit of a slur, and Romani people, they don't really like that term.
I found that out.
At all? Yes. And you knew that it was not okay, and you still said it.
No, look, sometimes I get around people if I'm nervous, for any reason, social gathering or something, I will accidentally say offensive things that I know is offensive when I'm saying them.
It's not because you had already had several craft beers that night.
No, this happened sober.
No, but you had already.
No, I'm pretty sure there's a guy I work with now that thinks I'm racist because I thought he was a black man, and I thought he was another black man they were looking for. And in my defense, they look similar.
Oh, okay.
No, but he totally, bro, I could see it on his face when I stopped this guy and asked him if he was this other guy. Because I've been there for a couple of years.
But you said you also were a little distracted and not really paying
attention.
attention.
Yeah, and a lot of people in a big truck look kind of the same. It's true, not just black people, but I'm pretty sure this guy thinks I'm full on racist now. He won't even look at me. He looks down at the ground when he walks by. I still don't know his name. So anyway, So I'm around this group of people from Romania, from that area, and I'm asking them about gypsies and vampires. Like, what is wrong with you? What are you doing?
I remember giving you the death eye, like I'm your mom, like you're going to get a spanking when we leave here.
Yeah.
Like my mouth's hanging on the floor, like, what the fuck, Dylan? And you're just over here like, la, la, la. Gypsies, trance, and thieves, you know.
I'd be like, Cher.
My wife loves that song.
Cher.
My wife loves Cher.
She loves
her.
Cher. Yeah.
I do love Cher.
Well, yeah. And Cher
Found someone.
She loved gypsies.
You know, Cher, a lot of her songs from back in the day maybe would not be exactly PC today.
You mean like half-breed is the name that they give me.
Well, that's not how it goes.
Half-breed.
You're butchering the song.
Half
Dylan.
my mama and my pawpaw. All right, let's go.
Or Loretta Lynn, who had an album that's like your squalls on the warpath, and she's wearing like a feather headdress and like this cheesy costume.
Damn.
Okay. The 60s and 70s, like that was a different time, Dylan. All right. So Cher, you know, she gets a bit of a pass because she's Cher, but like, let's be so for real. Half-breed, maybe not the best song. Reports at the time said the Sullivan County Sheriff's Office had searched this campground, but had found nothing. Quote, every time we talk to her, her story changes. I'm serious when I say that every single time, said Captain Andrew Seabolt, an investigator on the case, and he made these comments on February 26th. He said that at a news conference, giving an update in the search for Evelyn, which just after the conference ended, moved again into Wilkes County, North Carolina. There, investigators searched for the child near a pond on property connected to the Boswell family. Property records at the time showed the land was owned by a family member of William McLeod, the boyfriend of Evelyn's grandmother. That search proved to be inconclusive, but several people that day spoke to WVLT News about the search. A woman who claimed to be friends with the Boswells said the mother knew where Evelyn was and who had her. So I think she meant the mother, like Angel, the grandmother, like she knows where the child is.
Okay.
So Megan's made everybody believe that her mom, the like gypsy lady or whatever, living in a campground, knows where the baby is.
Which is really messed up if you think, once you know the whole story. She didn't mind at all dragging people under the bus or throwing people under the bus.
No, you're having someone's pond, dragged, and police are all up in their business and their property searching.
She doesn't
These
mind.
people who have nothing to do with,
who the entire communities around them are like kind of looking, giving them side eye.
Yeah.
It's
judging
crazy.
them. Also, what an invasion of privacy for the police to just law enforcement rolls up at your home
And digs through
Here
all your
we're gonna
stuff.
search your house, and you are not even involved. You're just like, what the fuck, dude?
Because let's be honest, when they start digging through ditches and dragging ponds, I mean, it's obvious what they're searching for.
McLeod himself said he had only seen Evelyn once or twice since he had began dating Angel Boswell. And this was in June of 2019 that he started dating Angel. So, from June to February, he's like, I've only seen this kid once or twice. He also said he'd offered to take a lie detector test, but Boswell said she could not do that because she was pregnant.
Yeah.
Later,
Now, I've heard of this before.
Later, the Sullivan County Jail confirmed Megan was not pregnant.
Well, they say your baby can tell lies while you're taking the test.
We all know babies are big liars.
And that it can throw off investigators.
They're
It can
like-
throw off their readings.
They're like, wah,
The results. It'd be like, look, you're being truthful, but your kid's a damn lie.
I didn't steal the cookie. Wah.
That little baby in your
Why
belly,
does my baby sound like a sheep?
that little baby in your belly ain't got the truth in them.
I know both of my babies with just big old liars.
My
They come out lying.
My baby's been lying since it's in my belly.
I ain't really being born right now.
It's God trying to gaslight their mom
Yeah.
that they're
Yeah.
not in labor.
Yes.
Jesus,
I told you they're both liars.
you can't
It's
trust a
terrible.
baby.
You cannot.
Can't look at them.
Well, clearly they make plane reservations and like hop on planes and leave town without even telling you.
And don't even have a carry-on.
According to Megan, so.
And look, if you're anywhere around a baby right now, look at that little baby right in the eyes. It's probably it's plotting on you, ready to tell some damn lies, get you fired.
We're just being silly. I love babies.
I love them too, but I don't trust them.
I love babies. I'm just give me all your babies to love on. I just want a job where I get to like love on babies.
Old lying ass baby.
You know, I've always heard that you can volunteer at like the NICU or at like hospitals to rock babies, and I don't know if that's true, but I would love to do that.
You know, I
And
volunteered.
I'm not being a creepy, like I'm not trying to be creepy, but I love babies. I
One-
love them.
One time I volunteered
sweet and
to
pure.
rock elderly people at a nursing home.
And
Which
you melted their faces
no,
off
and I started doing it,
with your bass guitar.
but I didn't go through any official capacity to like sign up. It wasn't even a real program, so it very quickly went off the rails.
When you had a little old man in your lap
Yeah, just rocking him.
and he was like, "What is that in your pocket?"
But no,
Felt very uncomfortable
dude, why are
Yeah.
you making it weird?
because you're weird. Because you made it weird.
So I was just rocking them old people, and I didn't even know their names.
Like a wagon wheel. All right, let's get back. On March 6th, officials with the Sullivan County Sheriff's Office acted on new information developed in the case and searched property belonging to Tommy Sr. Agent Brian Fraley of the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, the TBI, later recalled receiving a call from Tommy Sr., who mentioned a storage shed on his property. Megan had been carrying items kind of in and out of the shed. Remember, she had lived in the trailer. She wasn't really like staying there. Tommy said, if you aren't going to live in the trailer, then move out so I can rent it.
The trailer she trashed.
The trailer she trashed. So Megan had moved some of her personal items into the shed, had moved some other items out of the shed, that kind of thing. There was also a playhouse that had been built by Megan's grandfather for Megan when she was little, like a little kid, and it was inside that shed. Tommy Sr. just had this horrible gut feeling about his missing granddaughter. And look, I'm just going to make this announcement right now. If you don't want to hear the details, you can skip ahead a couple of minutes because they're gruesome. So I'm going to let you skip ahead. The body found matched the description of Evelyn Boswell. So they go into the shed. Tommy's like, I have a really bad feeling. I don't know what's going on in the shed, but I think you should search it. TBI shows up.
Did this all of a sudden kind of dawn on him after all this other activity and all these other directions?
I think so.
Okay. He's really thinking about it and probably going over in his head of,
Well, just trying
to
maybe
figure
just
it out.
Anything,
Right.
grasping at straws. So the agent, Brian Fraley, enters into this shed. There's this playhouse, and that is where he makes a gruesome discovery. Like I said, the body matched the description of Evelyn Boswell. The child was reported to be wearing a purple onesie with penguins on it. She was wrapped in a white and gray blanket. The toddler's remains were inside a black trash bag, which was layered among several other trash bags. Fraley first observed a leg and like a foot on top of this trash.
Oh, my God.
Like a trash can. It's got all the stuff in it, and there's just like a tiny little baby foot sticking up out of it,
My God.
which makes me want to cry. I'm really going to try to keep it together. It took an hour for a doctor to arrive at the scene, like a medical examiner. Dr. Darinka Mulasinik Polchin.
Oh, I'm sure that's exactly right.
Yeah. Chief of medical examiner for Knox and Anderson counties said the autopsy showed Evelyn's body in active decomposition that had been occurring in a confined space. The body was riddled with maggots and flies. This is a 15-month-old baby. Like, this is so horrible to think about. Due to the infestation of these maggots and flies, medical examiners were unable to see if blunt force trauma had been a factor. The skeleton did not show damage from blunt force trauma. Details of the child's autopsy are available on YouTube. You can actually go see Dr. Matrina Schmidt, a forensic pathologist from Florida. She discusses her experience conducting the autopsy at trial and goes into great detail about it.
So, as far as bruising, lacerations, things of that nature, they're not seeing any fractures on the skeletal part of the remains, right?
But this child is
Right. So,
very decomposed.
very little information to be gained as far as that part of the autopsy is concerned.
The toddler's body had been, quote, unnaturally folded.
I know it. Yeah.
She was wrapped so tightly with aluminum foil around her head, like several times, that the child's facial features were flattened. The foil and the blanket, because not only did she have this foil wrapped around her head multiple times, but she also had this blanket wrapped around her head very tightly, like so tightly it flattened her facial features. The foil and blanket cut off her oxygen supply. The child was placed in a trash bag head first, and it's like one of those white kitchen trash cans, like the plastic ones, the Sterilite trash cans.
Now, are they saying that was what caused her death? Asphyxiation of some sort?
Yes, because she was wrapped up and then put head first in this trash can.
Jesus.
And she could not breathe, and she's in this very awkward position, blood rushing to her head. She's a baby. She cannot free herself.
I mean, why?
I don't know. So she was technically alive at this point in time. She was compressed in the can in a, quote, accordion-like position with a severe overextension of her head and neck. I can't even begin to understand what that means, but it sounds horrible. It sounds like something out of a nightmare.
Right. I mean, none
like
of this.
Some crazy Guillermo del Toro like movie or something. I mean, this is just, it is unfathomable that someone could do this to a child, to their own child. Like, what kind of demon monster are you?
No,
right?
seriously, it's demonic. No matter what you believe or religion or any of that, this is pure evil. To do this to any child, but yet even let alone your own. I mean, it's just something I could never even comprehend doing.
Yeah, this is like some sick Nazi shit or something. The blanket was secured so tightly around Evelyn that it left imprints on her skin. Now, once authorities confront Megan with the news, of course she has the baby was smothered in the bed story.
Oh.
This is the latest in Megan's stories. To explain the paternity, since Evelyn did not belong to Ethan Perry, Megan said she was violently sexually assaulted and the attacker was Evelyn's father, but she never identified who that might be, who this attacker was.
Okay. So the bushy-haired man sexually assaulted her, and she had this baby. And I don't know why I didn't tell you any of this earlier. You've had like a multi-state search for this child.
Megan's fingerprints were found on the foil that had been molded around the child's head. Only Megan's fingerprints and Megan's DNA. No one else. It was determined that the child had died from asphyxiation. Now, Megan tells investigators that Evelyn died while co-sleeping with her and a boyfriend, meaning Hunter. Authorities would later state Megan had told them she knew Evelyn was dead 1 week before Agent Fraley uncovered the toddler's remains at the Muddy Creek property. Claims of the co-sleeping accident were ruled out by medical professionals who stated it was unlikely a child of 15 months would die in such a way. Like SIDS, which has kind of been debunked, and children, especially like babies and, young children dying in their sleep. The doctors are like, there's no way a child that's 15 months old would suddenly die from SIDS.
Right.
Or if you rolled over on a baby that age, that they would suffocate. Like, it's pretty impossible.
Oh, that they would like move around, wake you up, cry or something.
Yeah. And their lungs, they're so much more developed at 15 months than, say, like an infant would be.
Right. They could even take you laying up against them without dying.
So during this, Megan, she, at this point, is trying to throw her boyfriend, Hunter, under the bus. She claims They were co-sleeping. Hunter rolled over on the baby, killed the baby, and then disposed of Evelyn. She didn't know what he had done with the child.
Even though her DNA and fingerprints are all over the
Well, I
remains.
mean, that comes obviously later.
Okay.
Like at trial. They don't know right away that her, fingerprints are the only ones. But so this is like initially after she's learned her child is dead. They've made this discovery. She's just doing what Megan does. Lying like it's her job.
Yeah, and I'm sure no one believes her. They can't.
She's lying like a big old fat black snake in the sun. She just lying and lying. So in addition to 2 murder charges, Megan Boswell was charged with 12 counts of false reporting, tampering with evidence, abuse of a corpse, and failure to report a death under suspicious circumstances. A grand jury indicted Megan in August of 2020. Due to COVID and other issues, Megan Boswell's trial had many delays. So let's get into the trial. So kind of like on day 1, they choose jurors, they maybe do their opening arguments, whatever. And on day 2 of the trial, jurors were shown a video of Megan's interview with Agent Brian Fraley of the TBI and the Sullivan County Sheriff's Office Detective Jonathan Licklider. The interview took place in February of 2020. Megan said Evelyn was dead and that her boyfriend rolled over onto the baby while sleeping. She said Hunter Wood took Evelyn and the kitchen trash can. She had no idea what he'd done with Evelyn or the trash can.
Okay.
So she's throwing Hunter under the bus. Tommy Sr. took to the stand and testified about Megan's time in foster care. He explained that Megan and Evelyn came to live with him once she had turned 18, that he'd bought Megan a car, gave her a credit card to buy whatever she needed for the baby. He also testified about Megan living in the trailer park owned by his family on Sugar Hollow Road, and that after Thanksgiving of 2019, Tommy Sr. did not see his granddaughter. When asked about Evelyn's whereabouts, Megan said the girl was in Louisiana with her father. And by February, Tommy Sr. told his daughter to produce the child or he was going to contact DCF. Austin Feller, the man who cleaned the trailer, after Megan had moved out and it was trashed.
Right.
Took the stand to testify about the conditions of Megan's trailer when she'd moved out. He described a neglected home filled with feces, dirty diapers, old food, and trash. Not the kind of place you would want a toddler crawling around.
No.
Taking their first steps.
Or leaving them.
Or leaving them alone for hours at a time. Detectives testified that when Megan was asked to produce items belonging to her child, they were like, show us your baby's stuff. She only had a few items. She had an outfit that still had price tags on it, a cup, like a sippy cup, and a memory box. But she did not have any other items belonging to the child.
And that doesn't make any sense.
Because she had thrown them all away or had put them in the storage building.
Because she knows she doesn't need them anymore.
Right.
Right. And I think that really makes a really good point.
Audrey Gibbs, Megan's friend, testified that Megan would go a long time without changing the baby. Once, she had to remind Megan to buckle Evelyn's safety seat in the car. Bailey Hawkins, Megan's other friend, testified that she and Megan had gone out in November with baby Evelyn to Speedway Lights. I'm assuming maybe that's some kind of like Christmas lights display or whatever. Bailey had asked for some photos of Evelyn, and Megan said the child was with her grandmother after November. So she was like, hey, send me some pictures of Evelyn, recent pictures. And Megan's like, oh, I can't.
I don't have any.
She's with her grandmother.
Yeah, I haven't taken any pictures of my kid.
A third friend had gone to Chili's for dinner with Megan and Evelyn. The child was in poor condition, dirty, and smelled bad. That's what this person testified in court, that Evelyn smelled so bad, like she could smell this child across the table in a Chili's.
That's crazy.
Where food is fried and
well,
there's a lot of scents in Chili's.
If you're smelling anyone, let alone a child or baby over Chili's, then it's not good. If I could smell my date over the chilies. That's not okay with me.
Well, I guess later when this friend had reached out, like, you know, how's things going? How's Evelyn? Megan was like, oh, she's with her dad. Isn't it cute? He wants to be a dad all of a sudden, and like painting it like it was this positive thing.
Right.
Another interesting twist in the case came when Randy Wood, father of Hunter Wood, took the stand. He told the jury that Hunter was in a mental hospital in Marion, Virginia. At the time of the trial, he had been in the facility for 2 months. Randy described that some days his son would be decent, while other times he didn't know his father at all. The toll of Megan's accusations and public opinion that he was involved in the child's murder had taken its toll on Hunter. Randy said his son had mental problems, quote, ever since he was accused of being a baby killer.
Yeah, and I think that gets lost in these stories sometimes. You know, you'll have false accusations, people lie. You'll have investigators kind of develop their own theory that is inaccurate, and they really go after someone. And then, of course, the public court of a public opinion, even once you're proved and everyone knows what really happened, there's always that handful of people who just really never believe you.
Small town.
Yeah, and this wrecks people's lives.
It
can devastate, especially smaller town, the worse it is, because you can't just move away or go to a part of town where people don't recognize you. You get the looks, the stares, people talking behind your back, and it's really it would be a horrible thing to go through if you're an innocent person. And I could only imagine.
Some months ago, and it's escaping me right now, we covered a case that was in Tennessee of a girl who'd gone missing, a little girl, and they focused in on like a teenager who happened to live in the neighborhood or something.
Right.
And it basically destroyed his life.
Yeah.
Like even 30 years later, like he was still being affected by the allegations he had something to do with this.
Yeah, and that's terrible. That's a really horrible thing for an innocent person to go through.
Hunter was cleared of all involvement in Evelyn's disappearance. He had a lengthy criminal record, including some arrests following the child's disappearance. Hunter was diagnosed with schizophrenia and experienced hallucinations. Randy Wood said if his son was brought into court, he would not be in his, quote, right mind to testify. And it sounds like maybe Hunter had struggled with some mental illness.
He already had issues
previously.
And this only made it worse.
But this really seemed to set it off, according to his dad. And it's really sad. A lot of people are like, oh, they're faking, they're lying. I have a hard time believing that. It's really hard to get mental health treatment in this country, much less be like admitted into a facility,
right?
Like a treatment facility for more than like a day or two. And it's really expensive, all of those things. So I have a hard time believing that the hospital would just take this grown man who's faking just to get out of court or something. I mean, that doesn't make sense to me at all. Or that his parents would be paying probably out the ass for him to be in this mental hospital. You know, a lot of insurance companies don't pay for those things.
Or they only pay a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. And then you're on the hook for the rest. Yeah, so, I mean, I understand because this guy Hunter, I mean, he was dragged. I remember people dragging him on social media, pointing the finger at him, accusing this guy. And even after he was cleared, there are still people who think he had something to do with it.
Right. And those people will never change their opinion on that.
So, yeah, I mean, I think that very well could have messed him up. Now, it's really sad what the Wood family has gone through. Since this incident, Hunter's parents divorced. The community turned on the family. They closed their business, the Chicken Shack. Hunter has experienced this extreme scrutiny, as I kind of mentioned, accusations, and then these mental health issues.
So it destroyed their lives, basically.
In some ways, yeah.
Well, I mean, your finances, your business,
your marriage,
your reputation, your marriage, relationships, close relationships. I mean,
friends turn their back on you.
Yeah, it's
you're
terrible.
Shunned and ostracized by the community. It's really sad. Texts and messages over Facebook were introduced, revealing Megan offering these different stories to friends and family about Evelyn's whereabouts. For example, a message to a friend named Jesse Rosenbaum via Facebook was sent on January 13th of 2020. Megan told this friend she had lost custody of Evelyn to Ethan, and she had, quote, been in a mood. She claimed Ethan had provided the wrong court date, therefore she was late, and as a result, Megan lost custody. And this person, Jesse, replied, "Damn, that sucks."
Oh, wow. That's a very Facebook reply.
It's a very young person reply. "Damn, that sucks. Man, have you been to Chili's lately? Got a new app on the menu."
Yes, they do.
Okay, so also introduced was an apartment application. This was entered into evidence at the trial. The application listed Megan and her boyfriend Hunter Wood. Megan said Hunter didn't want Evelyn to live with them, and that's why she had not mentioned the child on the application. Again, she's trying to throw Hunter under the bus and paint it like he didn't want my kid around. What was I supposed to do? Like if I was going to be with him, he didn't want my daughter around.
Then any normal person's not going to be with that person. They're not going to be around that person. It's not, children aren't optional.
I mean, really, when it boils down, like at the end of the day, I truly believe, and we're not done talking about this yet, but I truly believe that Megan killed her child. She wanted the baby out of the way. She killed her child thinking that she was going to somehow be with this guy.
Right.
She wanted to get her hooks in him, and I think it's because, he's attractive, young, seemingly successful.
Family has a little
because
money.
His parents own this business and his name is on it.
Right.
And his parents lived in a nice house. They got a BMW with some front end damage.
Right.
And just judging from some of the photos I saw of like Megan and Hunter in his parents' home, it looked like a nice house. So I would assume, they were not like destitute people. And I think she saw this young man and thought, I'm going to get my hooks in him if I can get this baby out of the way.
But, I mean, there's the evidence that she didn't care properly or about the baby in the right ways long before she did this.
Well, that's not exactly true, Dylan, because up until she started working at that chicken shack and started dating him, people say she was a good mom, that she loved Evelyn, cared for her, the baby was clean, taken care of.
That's so weird.
They were always together.
That's so strange to me.
And it's after she started working at this place, met this guy, started hanging out with him, that she's like leaving her baby alone and just going off and being with this dude all the time.
There has to be another way. I mean, that's just very strange to...
Well, I guess when you look back at her life, and we talked a lot about that in the first episode, she comes from this very broken, just dysfunctional, tumultuous, home life with her parents. They have not had a great relationship. She's learned to lie. She has never really felt, I guess, love and accepted. I think she's got low self-esteem. I think she seeks validation through male attention.
All right, love in all the wrong places.
I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a trained professional here. I'm just an observer of the human condition, Dylan.
You just call it like you see it.
And I think that Megan was looking for love in all the wrong places, and that she was really willing to go to great lengths thinking she could secure somebody who would love her and maybe provide her with a certain lifestyle.
Okay.
Where she didn't have to work or clean the house.
Or her child.
Or take care of a baby. Anyway, on February 13th of 2025, after an 8-day trial, the jury found Megan Boswell guilty on all 19 counts: first-degree murder, felony murder during aggravated child abuse, felony murder during aggravated child neglect, tampering with evidence, abuse of a corpse, failure to report a death, and 10 counts of false reporting to authorities. The jury recommended a life sentence with the possibility of parole after 51 years. So she was given this sentence and an extra 33 years on top of that life sentence.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And these were not to be concurrently or whatever served. This was like she could
You finish one and you start the other.
She might be paroled in 51 years, but she's supposed to go back to court or prison for the 33 years.
Oh, yeah. So effectively a life sentence.
Right. I don't think Megan is ever going to see the light of day again.
No. And honestly, I'm sorry. I don't think you should. I don't think you should. What you did to that child, you can say, oh, you know, I had issues or whatever. It's evil what you did to this baby who looks to you for protection, for everything. And I just don't know how you can end up in this position and be capable of this.
Well, all I know is...
And to be able to walk around and talk to people without like being like a total mess.
You know, you hear these stories quite often about prison justice. And I would just like to think that maybe there's an inmate out there who kicks Megan Boswell's ass every day of her life.
Though we don't condone violence here at the Mountain Murders studio. But we just speculate on what could happen.
Well, you don't.
Well, damn, allegedly. Shit, let me say allegedly.
I'm saying there's a lot of violence in prison that is just incredibly unnecessary, and I don't think anybody should go to prison and be like sexually assaulted and beaten and abused. No. But in certain circumstances, like when pedophiles are taken out by inmates, I feel like maybe that inmate deserves an award. Like, it kind of makes me want to go put some money on their books.
Yeah.
I want to throw $100 on their JPay and be like, good job, Tiger.
Wow, I think you just developed an app where I can get the app and I can kind of keep a running tally with these people who are taking out inmates and put money on their books.
You know, some of these people who are extreme monsters, like Jeffrey Dahmer, I'm not going to lose sleep because an inmate beat him to death.
No.
Right?
No, I'm not. Because what Dahmer did to his victims is just the worst thing you could think of.
So a child killer, a fucking baby killer, like Megan Boswell, again, I'm not going to lose sleep if some big old gal decides to shank that bitch in the shower or whatever. I'm not going to feel bad about it. I'm just saying.
No, I don't blame you. I don't think you should.
No. I mean, I'm not really like, people deserve to die, but in some cases,
Some people don't deserve to live.
When it's like Casey Anthony or Jeffrey Dahmer or someone who's done something really fucking terrible.
Susan Smith.
Then fuck them. Fuck them all. Right? Though Evelyn's exact cause of death was undetermined, the jury found the circumstantial evidence and Megan's conduct after Evelyn's death persuasive enough to convict. The defense had an uphill battle because Megan's lies were well documented. Their main arguments included no proven cause of death, no direct evidence of murder, and that lying doesn't equal murder. The pattern of deception was central to the guilty verdict. Megan did not testify at the trial.
Well, let's be honest. She sounds kind of dumb, and she would not have probably performed well on cross-examination.
Yeah, she doesn't seem like the sharpest tool in the
Yeah,
shed.
I'm not being mean. I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, it's true. When she was being interviewed, I was kind of like, okay.
Yeah, and I don't want to offend other dumb people by calling her dumb, but yeah, she's something else.
You know what? If you're dumb and you know it, just embrace it.
Yeah, and it's not a bad position to be in, I've been told.
Because, I mean, I think I'm pretty smart and I have a lot of common sense, but there are times when I am truly a natural blonde and I'm like fucking ditzy and just can't remember shit and like am goofy and say dumb shit. So, I embrace that.
I embrace being dumb all the time.
I know you do.
I'm embracing it right now.
You love to remind me that you can't even sit in a chair. Okay, moving along. So Megan has never admitted guilt in the death of her daughter, Evelyn Boswell. Megan's case has drawn comparisons to that of Casey Anthony because both involved a young child's death, delayed reporting, and offered these conflicting statements. Megan was transferred from the Sullivan County Jail to a Tennessee state prison in March of 2025. Angel Boswell testified during the sentencing phase. following her daughter's conviction. She pleaded for leniency and described Megan's upbringing as traumatic and unstable. She told the court, quote, "I failed her." The defense did not present Megan's upbringing as an excuse for Evelyn's death, but instead argued it was important context for sentencing.
Okay.
As far as we know, Ethan Perry has returned to private life. He's made no further public statements since testifying at Megan's trial. This poor guy, he's also kind of been through the ringer with all of this and accusations, and then come to find out this child's not even his baby. We don't know who Evelyn's real father is. Just really sad. Most of the Boswell family has disappeared from public eye since Megan's conviction. There have been no major public interviews or reports about the family. Megan has stated she intended to file an appeal, but I can't find any public report verifying that like a formal appeal has been filed or placed on a docket. And that concludes our Megan Boswell case.
It's such a sad story.
It is very sad.
And just the condition
and
of
depraved.
That poor baby and what she had to have suffered at the end before going dark. It's just, and the callousness and the ease of lying and dragging, throwing other people under the bus and just, talking all this mess about everyone but yourself. Megan Boswell is a big piece of shit. And
she just had complete disregard for Evelyn as a human being.
Yeah. She was an inconvenience to her.
She was an inconvenience to her.
And it's like, give the baby to someone else.
Well, that's the thing, Dylan. Just looking at the amount of people posting, like when this was happening and unfolding on social media, the amount of comments from women and even men who were like, I would give anything to take that child in. Like, I would have taken that baby in and I would have adopted that baby. Like, there are so many people out there who would have loved that child. And, you can surrender a child at the firehouse. I mean, there are, places where you can, safe havens where you can drop children off.
Isn't that up to, their teenagers?
What is it?
No, I want to say, the age is quite. Let's just say she could have found help.
Because we had a couple 16-year-olds that maybe we should have dropped off at a fire station.
I still try to drop them off, but they keep getting back in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to drop.
I'm 22. You can't drop me off now.
You got to drop them off when they're still in that little car seat.
We're just jesting, but I'm saying there could have there were a lot of ways that Megan could have gotten out of motherhood without going this route, without taking these steps, right?
Well, yeah.
She could have surrendered her, put her in foster care. She could have told her dad, look, I'm not cut out to be a mom. You're going to have to take this baby. Her mother, someone, right? There's somebody out there who would have taken this child in and loved her and treated her like the little angel that she was.
There has to have been.
And it's just so sad that this poor baby experienced such cruelty at the end of her life.
Agreed.
So yeah, Megan Boswell, big shitbird. She's just a big old shitbird sitting in a shitty nest somewhere in prison.
Gosh, well,
and I hope there's a bigger shitbird that comes along.
Yeah.
And scoops her up and flies off with her.
Right after
a big bird of prey. Caw-caw, big shitbird of prey.
I hope she just when you have your car go through the expensive car wash, and then the bird just shits on it.
Yeah.
All over it.
Like a fucking pigeon. It's just gonna shit all over your car.
Just all over, on the window.
Yeah.
And it's just not smearing, even though you're trying to get it off.
Yeah.
And you know damn well that washer fluid's going to leave watermarks all over your car.
I hope every day that Megan Boswell gets to go outside for her hour of recreation time or whatever, that a big bird shits in her fucking eye every day of her life.
I hope both sides of her pillow are always hot.
I hope she don't even have a pillow. I hope she has to sleep on her crusty shoulder.
Ugh.
On a crusty vinyl mattress without sheets in prison.
A thin one. An old one.
On a metal frame.
Yeah. They call it a rack.
And then she has some like weird, creepy cellmate that like watches her when she's taking a shit and makes eye contact.
Damn.
Or like stares her
Hey,
down
hold on.
in their weird little cell in the toilet.
Your cruelty's going one step too far,
Just
Heather.
say that.
Hey, don't. If you look
There
at
are lots of reasons. Like I don't want to go to prison.
Is that-
Okay? I'm way too dainty for prison.
is
And
that
not that no one would ever describe me as being dainty, but when it comes to prison, I'm like, I'm too dainty for prison. And I'm like a creature comforts. I like my creature comforts.
Yeah.
I'm a Taurus.
I like fuzzy blankets.
I like blankets and soft things and beds with fluffy pillows. Yeah. But the limited amount of privacy that you have in prison.
Right.
The thought of having to take a shit with someone staring at me.
Smelling you.
It brings back traumatic experiences of like when I was in boot camp, because they don't have like the bathroom stalls don't have doors or curtains or anything.
It's just toilets
So there's
lined up
like
on the wall.
80 women in your division lined up. They call it pump and dump. So everybody has to go in there, and you have like a minute to do a 1 or 2 while everyone's watching you.
I could never do that.
Yeah. Look, I trained my body to be on a schedule where at like 3 a.m, when everybody was asleep and there was only like one person up on watch,
Right.
that I would make my way to the head.
And you could go have a
So I
quiet
could have
poo.
a private moment with myself. Yeah.
All right, Heather. Thank you for that. I know this was a case that's really will always stick with you. Thank you for finally putting it together for us and the listeners, for me and the listeners, and glad to be back. We will talk to you again on a proper midweek.
I wanted to hear why you don't want to go to prison.
Oh, well,
We've talked about this before, but I just need to know, like, would it be the food?
Well, the food's not good, right?
There's probably a lack of like TV and leisure time, which would really bother you.
Entertainment is going to be not. I like a good movie, though they're harder to find
Well,
nowadays.
but maybe the prison would put on like a play.
Yeah,
They would have a theater.
I'm sure that happens.
That does happen sometimes.
I would prefer to go to a prison that has like an underground gladiator fights.
What if they have like a prison talent show?
I could do that.
What would you do? What
What
would be
if
your
they-
talent?
What if they have prison Okie? That could be fun. I would do like Johnny Cash. I would sing Folsom County Blues
Oh, okay.
in prison.
Well, it's not called Folsom County Blues, but okay.
Folsom Prison, whatever. You know what I'm talking about.
No, I don't.
Yeah, well, I just wouldn't like it.
You're too pretty for prison, Dylan.
I could be part of a gang, though.
You could.
Yeah, I could be like a pod underboss,
Okay.
right?
I just don't think I have what it takes to be in a gang.
You don't.
I don't work well with others, you know? I like want to be in charge. I have a lot of opinions.
Yeah, you're a
Yeah.
natural leader.
Well, I don't know if I'd say that.
I think
but,
you would rise to the top as a pod boss.
But I have a real, like abrasive. There's something abrasive about me that like really pisses people off.
I've never noticed
and turns
that.
people off.
Haven't noticed that.
And I don't-
ever.
I'm not sure what it is.
It's just you.
It could be. It could be mine. Could just be my personality.
Yeah.
It's like naturally angers people.
Yeah, I don't know what it is either.
Yeah.
All right, so until next time, we hope everyone stays safe, and we cannot wait to be back.
We can't.
Huh.
I know.
I'm not going to leave.
Yeah, I know. I'm just going to go right into the next episode.
Oh.
Bye.
Bye.